from the Crypt.
Welcome, boils and ghouls, to the Cryptique Podcast. My name's Kenny, and I'm here with my good friend Godden, and together we're here to watch and review every horrific, often hilarious episode of the legendary HBO anthology series, Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt, Godden. Oh, let's go. Let's go. What's up, Godden? How are you?
Doing well, Kenny. This is a fun episode. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, and I agree. This is a good episode. I got to tell you, I keep up with our comments out there. We have a really strong community out there, and I really love the community we're building here. And I did have a few people who actually messaged, worried whether or not I would like this episode. I really did like this episode. It was good. It wasn't a typical Tales from the Crypt episode. It was very different. It's from the Two-Fisted Tales, which is the alternative universe that's not quite Tales from the Crypt, but they kind of blended in because Two-Fisted Tales never happened. So this ended up getting here, which it doesn't fit. It's not perfect, but it's a good story. I liked it. By the way, just in case you don't know what the heck we're talking about Season 4, Episode 9, King of the Road. It premiered August 8th, 1992, and it actually does not come from a comic. It was written exclusively for, or specifically for, Two-Fisted Tales, which didn't really happen. I guess they made 3 episodes for Two-Fisted Tales. It never happened. They aired them all on Tales from the Crypt. So far we've had Yellow. Last episode was... Help me out with this one, Godden. What was the last episode called?
Last episode was called
Showdown.
Showdown.
Yeah, Showdown. And then now we have King of the Road. So Showdown is definitely the weak link here. Showdown was definitely not very good. Yellow was superb. It was fantastic. And this is good. I like this one a lot as well. So, but before we do go into the episode, though, I do want to say it again. I've said it every time, and I'll say it every time. We are not experts. Godden and I are just here to watch and enjoy a show in our own way, and then come on here to express our opinion and thoughts about it. We're not here to say in any way that we have an authority on this show or that our opinion is in any way more valid than yours. If anything, we'd like you to also share your opinion. We want to build a community, and the community we've been building so far is fantastic. We have some great commenters out there. So if you've been listening for a while and you're not quite sure if you want to comment, just throw a comment out there. Everybody down in the comment section is so friendly too. That reminds me, I do want to mention one thing. A couple of episodes ago, we had a listener guest host. Iron Sabbath came on and was part of our podcast. And I got to tell you something. I'm so happy with our community we've built here, Godden. That episode is the most commented episode we have ever had so far, and the majority of those comments are so positive for Iron. He did such a fantastic job coming on here and just sharing his experience, sharing his thoughts about the show. He's so well informed in the world of Tales from the Crypt. I'm really impressed by his comments. I'm impressed by just how he did here, kind of on the spot, just kind of riffing off of us and just being able to add so much valuable knowledge and trivia to a show was just very, very cool. So yeah, outpouring in the comment section of a lot of support for Iron Sabbath. So thank you again very much to Iron Sabbath.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy our guest viewers or just guest co-hosts, because I do enjoy like just any of their takes. But yeah, Iron Sabbath was definitely an expert in this field, so it showcased that we are not experts, but we clearly will bring on experts, to help us with the episodes. So
right.
I hope we get more people.
Yeah, and not only an expert in Tales from the Crypt, an expert in meatloaf, quite frankly. All right, so our discussion around this show is going to come with spoilers. Basically, here, the ideal thing in my brain is you're coming along with us to join in a discussion after having watched the episode. So in my mind, you just watched the episode, and then now you come here to listen to us talk about it. That's kind of my thought process on this. So if you're not familiar with this episode, it might be a good idea to go watch it so you kind of understand what we're talking about. So yeah, we're going to spoil it otherwise. So let me grab the DVD box set so I can actually read the synopsis so we know what the heck we're talking about here. Godden, I'll be right back. Give me just a real quick minute. We are on the episode called King of the Road. And the ancient text on written in human blood on human flesh states, nothing's fiercer than the human race. A drag racer goads a cop into competing by kidnapping the man's daughter. That's okay. That one's okay. You know, some of them are better than others. I feel like this one, if you did watch the episode, you'll know. And I noticed this when I was watching it the first time through. He does agree to the race before he even knows his daughter is kidnapped, right? As far as he knows, in that part of the episode, he just thinks that the daughter ran away with him and like they're kind of, you know, like eloped or something. But in reality, yeah, she got kidnapped. Anyway, spoilers. Oh, you know what? Okay. Sorry to go way out of order here. So at this point, I would normally read my synopsis. I'm going to do that, but I need to make an announcement before I forget. So things are going to be all wonky, but that's okay. This is an exciting time for us Tales from the Crypt fans. It was just announced that Tales from the Crypt is going to be streaming on Shudder. Godden, do you have Shudder?
No, I used to with my buddies, but no, not currently.
Oh, wow. I don't have Shudder. I've never had Shudder, and I'm honestly thinking about getting it at this point because I'm kind of excited about checking out the Tales from the Crypt on there. I don't know if it's going to be like a high definition quality. I don't know if it's just going to be DVD standard definition quality. So I'm really curious about that. It would also be nice to just throw it on streaming and just have it kind of play. Because on the DVDs, you play a few episodes, then you got to put the next disc in, play a few episodes, and you got to put the next, right? So there's that whole thing going on. So it is nice to have it all streaming in one spot. So I'm very excited about having it come onto Shudder. And I wanted to make that announcement because it won't be for a few weeks at the point of us recording this episode. But by the time this episode airs, it's going to be on Shudder next week. So if you're watching this episode on the day that this airs, next week, this will be on Shudder. So that's exciting. So yeah, check it out. Look into it. If you're interested in Tales from the Crypt, which obviously you are by coming on here, let's face it. Yeah, you'll definitely want to check out Shudder and maybe consider, streaming it or getting it for a month or I don't know. So they're going to have a season per week. So the first week of next month, they're going to have the first season. And then each week after that, they're going to add the next season. So after 7 weeks, they'll have all 7 seasons on Shudder. So this podcast in no way, shape, or form is paid for or sponsored or anything by Shudder. I just want to let you know, as a Tales from the Crypt fan, you have more ways to enjoy the show. So we're excited about that. So I know it seems way out of order, but I kind of forgot to mention it before we got to this point. So with that out of the way, let me read what I had come up for this episode. Joe Garret is a straight and narrow police officer with a dark secret. Joe was once known as IceMan, a notorious drag racer who was involved in a fatal crash and has since evaded detection. Years later, Joe is visited by someone who knows his secret and threatens to turn him in unless he agrees to one last race to determine who really is the King of the Road.
Oh, wow. You put the title in there. I like that.
I stuck the landing, Godden. I stuck it.
I think you did, yeah.
All right. So I think the back of the DVD box set is too short. That's why I write my little blurbs, okay? Godden, on the other hand, these DVD box sets, they're too wordy. Godden, let us know what you came up with.
Mine is actually just a segment from the episode that's just been stuck in my head. And it's as simply as Bad Road, Wretched Road. I love that so much. It's the whole theme of this episode.
You're thinking about that song that plays.
That song caught me. I can't get it out of my head. It's an okay song, but It's like annoyingly catchy.
Bad road, wretched road.
Wretched road.
All right, so the episode starts with the Crypt Keeper yelling, "Stella! Stella! Oh, hello, plague goers. I was just rehearsing with my little theater group. I just love the slime light. For today's dreary drama, I thought we'd try an excremental piece about a retired drag racer who's afraid of getting to the finished line a little sooner than he wants. I call this nasty nugget King of the Road." So they're making a big effort out of him being in a play or like writing a play or something about or being involved in plays. And Stella comes from, you know, a streetcar named Desire, which I must admit, I know that much. That's about all I know. Do you know anything about a streetcar named Desire? Is that actually about street racing, or is it just have streetcar in the name? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe that's the pun. It's for the streetcar, but I don't know anything about that story or play.
Yeah, I'll just pretend that a streetcar named Desire is Bullet. Have you seen Bullet?
Bullet? No.
Oh, they're like racing that car all. Yeah. Anyway, it's a car racing movie.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know when it's from. I think it's from the 50s or the 60s, or is it the 70s? I don't even know. Oh my gosh. I probably shouldn't have said anything. Now I'm really embarrassing myself. It might have been from the 70s. Bullet. If you know, let me know in the comments. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so the opening panel is... Oh, but what did you think of the Crypt Keeper intro? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, it didn't really stand out or anything like that, but I do like when he's just like riffing or just going in his little spiels about something. And I was a little worried that it wouldn't be on par with like the theme of the episode, but yeah, like you said, it's just like he's in a theater or he's practicing some sort of play. So I'm not sure how that lines up with what the episode's all about, but you know, I don't mind Crypt Keeper doing what he wants to do. We're in it for the show, you know, he's doing his own thing. We're catching him at a wrong time.
Yeah, this to me, because of the fact they didn't have to work for this episode, it was already recorded. They just kind of, you know, they probably already had. I wouldn't doubt it if they had already wrapped up on the season and thought, here we are. We have, you know, how many episodes were in this season? Let me take a look real quick. So this season had 14 episodes. I wouldn't doubt it if they had like 11 episodes in the season, or no, 12 episodes in the season, and then just about ready to go on the season premiere. They're like, oh, well, let's just throw these last 2 episodes in real quick just to boost it. And then that might account for like kind of like the because I agree with you. This is a little bit lackluster of an intro and outro. So I wonder if they already were done with the season, ready to rock and roll with it, and then suddenly they kind of spring in these last 2 episodes that they shove in the middle of the season, and then don't really have much of a Crypt Keeper intro or outro. That's just, I don't know. That's a fleeting thought I just happen to have now. So that there you have it. There you have it. From my brain to yours. You're welcome. So the opening panel is a street race. Basically, there's a cop car and a kind of a muscle car, and they're getting ready to race. And you see the woman in the middle in a diner outfit of some sort. She's kind of running away. There's also a skull directly behind her. That skull actually does come into play a few times in the episode. So does her diner outfit. And so does the fact that it's a police car, even though there was no police car in there. Although this may not be the race at the end, if the police car is there, it may be the race kind of in the middle of the episode.
Yeah, that's true. That would be it.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
You had to have a police car in the opening panel, though, because yeah, the main character is a police officer, so it would make sense to have the police car. Well, the scene 1. Oh, what did you think about the opening panel? Any thoughts?
I like it. It's kind of funny to me because like it seems a little corny, but like in a good way. I think it's the big skull. I think that's what's getting me because everything else is fine, but the big skull I didn't notice at first. And it's a little goofy, but like I said, it's all in a good way. I don't mean it like, you know, insulting. Like I do enjoy how this panel is. It's like perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So that brings us to the opening scene, which is Brad Pitt's in this, by the way. And Brad Pitt is kind of getting himself situated, getting ready for a race. And just before he and the person he's getting ready to race go, he puts a little skull. He does have a little skull that he puts on the dashboard. And this is kind of a neat little trinket for your car. I think it'd be kind of fun to have in your car, a little skull like this. Kind of neat. I think the eyes even light up too. So they speed off, and then they're racing. The Brad Pitt character pulls ahead a little bit, and then the car behind blows a tire or something happens, and it kind of loses control, and it flips over in a very, might I say, impressive car accident. So we have, some car flipping end over end with a great action sequence. So yeah, some time and energy was definitely put into the opening of this episode.
I thought it was great. Like Brad Pitt just playing like the bad guy or just some sort of bad boy. I was so intrigued like how he was, first came on screen, because then I wonder like when did he debut? I'm like, this is very young Brad Pitt. So I had to do my own little research, and it was only a couple years before he was on this episode where he made his debut. And I mean, he kills it in this role, but the beginning where he's just all blacked out, he's supposed to be a mysterious figure, like who's this guy who's just kind of like a degenerate in some way, because he's kind of dressed up not like a greaser but some of a biker, right? He had like the leather vest, he had like very punk, honestly.
I got greaser vibes too. I got greaser vibes.
Yeah, greaser. Okay,
yeah,
was it just me then? I wasn't too sure why the other car flipped. I think it was just a tire pop, but I thought it was just random. I thought at first Brad Pitt like maybe hit him on the tail or something like that. I don't know. Made him spun out, but that wasn't the case. Brad Pitt was just focused on the race itself. So I was like, okay, I wasn't too sure how this story's gonna fold, but I was all for it.
Yeah, it wasn't clear as to what happened, why he lost control, but I just assumed maybe his tire blew out or something. But yeah, that wasn't very clear. Well, that's that scene, and the next scene is like, I don't know if it's the next morning or what, but it is in the morning. We're in there's a driveway. There's a man under a car, kind of working on his car in the driveway. Another man approaches. This is a Brad Pitt approaches, and basically starts talking to the man on the ground through the engine area of the car. Basically, they go back and forth. Hey, I'm looking for someone, and maybe you know him. And he goes, the guy underneath. No, he goes, hey, this is a nice car. Is this your car? And the guy in the bottom, we got to name these people. I'm getting tired of this. The Brad Pitt character name is Billy. Okay. And this man that Billy approaches is our main character, Joe. So Billy's talking to Joe, and then Billy asks, is this your car? He goes, no, it's my daughter's car. My car's over there, and it's a police cruiser. So yeah, he's talking to a cop. And Billy says, oh, I'm looking for the IceMan. And then he leaves. And that really gets Joe's attention. Joe actually comes out from under the car, and Billy's gone. So he doesn't know where he is. He kind of looks around. And at this point, Billy's down the street. The car starts up, revs its engine, and then races down the street, leaving Joe kind of just like, what the heck was that? So from this opening scene, because of the fact that he like disappeared when he was kind of right in front of him, it was kind of like almost supernatural. I thought, oh, it's like a ghost. It's like he's being haunted or something like that. That was kind of my first impression. Did you have any thoughts about this opening scene?
Yeah, I was slightly confused because after Brad Pitt was kind of messing with, when Billy was messing with Joe, and he said IceMan, I thought he was saying that he was IceMan, and he's like, "Hey, look, I'm here. I'm just playing games with you. Come and catch me." But it wasn't until as the story unfolded, like, "Oh, no, that's not IceMan at all." I thought, So before all that, because I had a different interpretation. I thought he was gonna run him over when he got to the car, because I thought we're just gonna follow this crazed driver, like just doing whatever he wants. But that wasn't the case. Like, he really was just baiting him and just messing with him. So he really wanted his attention this whole entire episode. He wanted something. Yeah. And it could be more than racing, but he wanted something.
Yeah. So that wraps up that scene. The next scene, we're at the drive-in, and this is where you get introduced to Joe's daughter. So Joe's daughter, she works at this drive-in area, and dad orders some food. I forget, like nachos or something, right? That's where Billy shows up. Billy parks right beside him, and he says, well, I'll be a snake on Sunday. I pop in for a shake, and look who I run into. And basically says, hey, it's the Iceman. He keeps going on with this Iceman. And Joe's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you got your people and your faces all mixed up because I don't know who this Iceman is. And I thought it was very telling that while he was saying this, while Joe was saying, I don't know who the Iceman is, you have your people all mixed up. You see because you know how they have that little a barrier between the cop car driver's seat and the back seat. They have the little like a mesh barrier.
Oh yeah.
Almost like a cyclone fence kind of a thing. The shadow of that was over Joe's face while he was talking to him. So it gave the impression that and in that moment he was a criminal. Like he was behind that little mesh. Like he was in the back seat of the cruiser. So I thought, oh, he's got a dark past. Like he's got something going on. So right away, I got those vibes. I thought this was very well directed, very well shot. I like the style of it. Like I said, just that shadow on his face was very telling on what was going on. So right away, I got the impression, oh yeah, he's the Iceman, and he did something that he's not necessarily proud of in his past.
Yeah, I just like how Billy really wanted to race Iceman. Like he's convinced that it is Iceman. But at the time, you kind of go along with the ride and say, oh, I guess that is Iceman. But I just love every moment he's talking to Joe. It's just such a fun exchange of dialogue every time. It's just always like upbeat. It's just crazy. And Joe is just like this very calm and kind of like assertive and just like, no, you got it wrong. I'm not who you think I am. And then Brad is just, like I said, just off the rails, bouncing about like a kid. He's so excited to like be his hero or something. He's like, oh my God, it's you. He's like starstruck. So
yeah, he is almost starstruck. Really
fun to see that.
Yeah, I got that too. So at this point, Joe gets a call on his little radio. So he's got to go take care of an emergency. So he leaves. And at this point, Billy notices his daughter, and he goes up and he strikes up a conversation with her. He kind of gets a little flirty. He even says, you have your father's eyes, which I thought was kind of an interesting, I don't think about complimenting a woman's beauty by comparing her face to her father's face. You're a very handsome woman. You know that? Yeah. So he he meets with her. He starts flirting with her, and he takes her on a date. So right that night they go cruising on the streets, and he's like racing down the streets super fast, weaving through traffic. And she's kind of excited. I think she kind of likes this. And I wonder, like, does she know this side of her dad? Does she know that her dad used to race? And if not, I'm sure he still likes to race if he was the Iceman. So I wonder how many times he's taken his daughter out and kind of went speeding down the road. And I wonder if there's a little bit of that going on, like, oh, just like my dad used to do, kind of a thing. I wonder if that's going on. So anyway, he gets her home, and then she says, will you come inside? And he says, yeah, I'll come. That just brought me right back to I'm Able with the cable. So
yeah.
So she leaves and she heads inside. He hangs back for a little bit. On his way in, he stops by the mailbox and he puts in like an envelope. He stuffs an envelope in there, but he also puts in a spider, like a giant tarantula, which I thought was interesting. And actually later on, he has a shirtless scene, but Brad Pitt later on has a shirtless scene, and you can actually see a tattoo on his chest of a giant spider. So I wonder if there was more to do with spiders that we didn't quite get. Like, I wonder if there was more to this episode. Maybe it was another like hour-long episode that they kind of trimmed into a half hour, but there seemed to be a bigger theme with spiders that I think we missed out on, because he, like I said, he had that big tattoo, and then he put the spider in the actual mailbox. And it turns out that the envelope was filled with newspaper clippings. So the next day, when Joe goes out to check the mail, first of all, the giant spider's in there. It's on his hand. He throws it down. He smashes it with his bare feet because he's a real man, and real men smash bugs with their bare feet. He opens up the envelope, And in it is a bunch of newspaper clippings of, years ago there was an accident. Notorious speed racer, IceMan killed a teenager. So he's definitely got some heavy baggage in his past that he's running from. Godden, what do you think of all of this? The date, the speed racing, and finally the mailbox incident.
I thought it was really funny because during that whole date scene and Billy's just, going 90 down, I think it's a highway. Like she's all like I said, like excited and just like pure adrenaline, and he's so calm. He's just like somewhat bored. He's actually more amused that she's having fun because it's nothing to him, right? He does more crazier stunts while driving. And I think to add on to what you mentioned, I think because IceMan retired, I don't think his daughter knows this side of like, the car life. So I don't think she's ever experienced anything like this. And that's like her first time. So she's genuinely like having a good time, thinking a car could be like this. And I thought it was really funny because at the end of that drive, they instantly just start making out. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Of course that works because like everything's high end, right? Like, yeah, just go straight to the makeout. And it was just really funny because like Brad Pitt just plays such a good like bad boy. Like he's just such a good fit for that. He just like he's having so much fun with the character. You can just tell because like everything he does, like all the small things, the facial mannerisms, like it's just a good fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that dialogue with him going inside and he makes that I'll come joke. When he put the tarantula and envelope in the mailbox, it actually got me thinking maybe it's like because IceMan, that's his call sign. Maybe this is like him. This is like his identity. Like he's like the spider. He's a tarantula. He's whatever it is around like arachnids. Like maybe that's his like identity. He's trying to like showcase like I'm the driver. This is my name. So maybe this is how he gets his name around.
Yeah,
that's just like part of him being crazy or just on edge. Like he just has a tarantula in his pocket that he's gonna put in a mailbox that says like. Because that envelope just says IceMan, right? It doesn't say who sent it, but the spider's like the giveaway that he sent it. Yeah. And it was when he did squish the bug. I thought that was really funny. Just like so abrupt.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I reached into somewhere and that big of a spider. Like that's a big. Like sometimes there could be a spider crawling on you and you kind of feel it because it's like rubbing up against your hairs. You're like, I think I feel something on me. You would feel that on you. That thing's got to be 4.5 pounds. It was a giant spider. All right. So this next scene is IceMan actually finds Joe kind of patrolling a neighborhood. So he goes up beside him, revs his engine, gives him a little, flick of his tongue. Oh, like he's kind of a snake. Oh, there's a little snake theme in there too. I just realized. Gives him a little flick of the tongue and then speeds down the road. And of course, Joe has to follow him. So Joe throws on his sirens, goes to follow him. Joe calls in to the not the operator, but the dispatcher to say, hey, I'm on, I'm running after this guy. And dispatch asks, do you want backup? He says, negative to the backup. He says, this one's mine. So this is personal at this point. So they go a little kind of a little chase ensues here, but ultimately the Billy character, the Brad Pitt, outmaneuvers him and then escapes. So that's kind of the end of that scene. But do you have any thoughts on this particular chase scene?
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite parts of the episode because how much he's taunting Joe. And then he just pulls up next to him, does the tongue flick. It's like, all right, it's a little, I don't know, it's just so funny. Like, it's just unnecessary and like you don't really expect that kind of behavior. But this guy's crazy and he's probably smart. So he's just doing whatever it takes to
spoilers, to, everybody, spoilers.
Get him. I mean, I think it's good that he is trying to get a race out of him, while he's in uniform. So I like what he's doing to get the cops' attention. It's pretty good, pretty rebellious. So it's a good scene. It's a good drive scene.
Yeah, he is desperate to get a race with this guy. Yeah, it is. It's almost like a celebrity dynamic going on here. Very interesting. So back home, he goes inside and he finds out that Carrie and Billy are both basically home alone. He gets inside. Carrie's putting on her clothes. So he's like, oh, something's up. He goes to the kitchen and sure enough, there's Billy with his shirt off. Of course, his shirt off is Brad Pitt. So
Yeah.
this is where a fight breaks out. So basically, Joe just starts, beating him up, telling him, to get out of here. And at this point, this is where Billy flat out blackmails him. He says, look, you're a single father. You're trying to take care of your daughter. What would happen if the police found out who you really were? You'll be charged with manslaughter. You'll go to jail. You'll be behind bars. And who's going to take care of your daughter? And that's what he does not want. He doesn't want this man to be alone with his daughter. So, yeah, at this point is flat out blackmail. He even says, think of me as your karma. So, yeah. And then, so that's enough for Joe. Joe realizes what he's dealing with here. He doesn't want his secret to get out. So he kind of lets Billy go. Billy leaves, but then Carrie hops out the window and hops in the car with Billy, and off they go. So what do you think of this whole little fight sequence here?
I thought that was good. I mean, it was a valid reaction response from the dad, right? Like, this random stranger has just been taunting you for the past couple days, and you do have a daughter, right? And then after that weird night of him kind of outmaneuvering you and getting you to like do some of a little race, you find his car like in your driveway the next day. So yeah, him getting in there and just, I mean, I think he would honestly get in a lot of trouble because I think he was still in uniform when he got back. So technically, I think he's still on duty. Or actually, remembering now, I think he was off shift. I think there was something on the radio that says, "Okay, you're done for the day, Joe." Blah blah. But yeah, I mean, he just started laying hands on Brad Pitt, and of course, like you said, it's Brad Pitt, so he's shirtless. So you get to see more of his tattoos and his like very like bad boy look. And this guy is crazy and smart. He instantly went for the black man. Like he knows what he's doing, like, and it makes a lot of sense. Like he really is Iceman. He does have that past where he did kill a teenager, or however it came to be during that race. And I thought it was interesting. Like, yeah, if I snitch on you, you're pretty much gonna go to jail. But you don't want your daughter alone, obviously, right? Who's gonna look after like such a weird thing to like provoke. But I guess it is because he knows he doesn't like him. Like that's probably another way to get under his skin. So just how instantly distraught Joe was, I just felt so bad. I'm like, yeah, like he doesn't know what to do. Like, his mind's just fighting each other at that moment. Like, does he race him? Does he, arrest him? Like, he doesn't know. He's at a loss.
Yeah, and Joe does have that past, and since Billy knows, it really is like he has leverage over him, right? He can go flick his tongue out at him and then race down the street and have even if he caught him that night before, even if he had been pulled over, he would have just said it then. Look, what's going to happen when everybody finds out what you did? So he has like a get out of jail free card that he can just keep using. So yeah, at this point, he's basically using it to force him to race. Basically, he just wants to race him. He wants to race the Iceman. He wants to race the king of the road because he wants basically to take ownership, right? All right, so the next scene I have now I put this in quotes because I'm not quite sure what this location is. I put a mobile home park. I'm not quite sure where they are. There's houses there, but they're like all half of houses. So
yeah.
So Joe goes to meet Billy at his quote unquote house, but it's like a half a house. So he's sitting in this house. He's sitting in this half a house. And basically, Joe agrees to the race. He says, look, you name the place, I'll name the time. So Billy says, right, I think this is said the old airstrip or something like that. And then Joe says, all right, fine, midnight. And that's where Billy opens up the trunk to his car, and he sees that his daughter's tied up in the trunk. And he says, no, I'm going to keep your daughter to make sure that you come through on your word and you're going to race me, which I don't think he needs to do because, like I said, he had already agreed to the race. Like, it's important for Joe not to be found out. His past, his life that he has can't come to an end. He can't go to jail. So basically, he's already committed. So the whole daughter thing just seems kind of weird.
Well, he also kind of had him at gunpoint, so he really wants this to happen. So yeah, I think Billy was just doubling and tripling down on everything because, like you said, he just wants this race, and that actually takes me back to the comment where he's like, "Oh, you have your dad's eyes." He's in love with the Iceman. He wants that title. He wants to dethrone.
You're right.
Yeah,
you have your dad's eyes. Your dad is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. How
Like
come
that,
that
yeah.
fell on deaf ears to me? I just thought about when he said that, I just thought about how that would come across to the woman you're saying it to. I didn't think how that would speak to his own thoughts and desires. He's looking at this beautiful young lady, and all he's thinking about is that man he was just looking at into his eyes. You're right. He's absolutely in love with Joe and is obsessed with Joe and just wants to race Joe.
Yeah.
Wow. No,
He wants
you're
to
right. You're
dethrone the
right about
king.
that one, Godden.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him. You know, he's starstruck. He developed a parasocial relationship through the newspaper clippings. You know, like it was just bound to happen.
Wow.
So.
Can you imagine? You know what? I tell you what, if someone like a young Brad Pitt came to me and was knocking on my door, I don't know what I would do. God, oh my goodness. So let's move on. This next scene, we're in a junkyard, and Joe basically goes into the junkyard, says, "Hey, old buddy," to the junkyard manager. And this is where we learn that this is where Joe keeps his old race car, his old muscle car. So this the junkyard manager brings him back into the garage, reveals a beautiful old muscle car. I wish I knew more about cars to tell you what kind of car this was. I'm not quite sure, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And basically this guy says, "I've been polishing it every month for you." Or no, "I've been polishing it every 6 months for you." He starts the car up, revs the engine. It starts off just fine. And he says, "I've been keeping her tuned up too." So basically this is his old buddy, probably back in his racing days. And ever since he gave up racing, he kept the car here. I thought it would be nice to have a little touch, maybe like a dent in the car, or like a spot where it's kind of bloody, like where you saw like, oh, this is where he ran over that person, right? Like I thought that would have been kind of a nice touch. But what did you think of this whole scene?
I liked it because after that segment where he agrees to the race, he goes to the junkyard, and I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I had a feeling that this is where he stashed away like his prized possession. But I didn't know he's gonna be like that was his best friend Mo that he came up to, because the dude's just chilling on a junkyard car, just playing the guitar. Like he's just at home, so it was cool. And I mean, I think it just speaks to he's a legend, right, for like drag racing, like whether it's local or bigger, because even Mo's like, I knew you'd come back. I knew one day you'd come back. Like I know you left, but there was a day I just felt it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense why he kind of kept the car like running good, polished every 6 months, tuned up, because he believed he'd come back. It's like a prophecy.
So much so that he polished it every 6 months and kept it tuned up just in case.
Yeah.
Just you're right. Case. Joe must have been a really big deal.
Yeah, I think he was. I mean, he became a cop eventually. He had to outrun that life. So
yeah,
it was cool to see what kind of car he had, because he was like taken back. You can see like slowly he was just being taken back to the good old days before that tragedy happened. Because I'm sure he just liked to race, but he didn't want to kill anyone, because that might have been his only issue. Then he just said, "No, I'm just going to retire because can't afford more casualties." It's immoral. So.
So this is where we transition to what Billy's up to, and Billy is getting a new tattoo. So we're in the tattoo parlor, and he's getting Garret tattooed on his arm. But then the camera pans up, and it goes through all of the tattoos on his arm. He has name after name on his arm. I actually wrote them down because I like their names. There was Big Dare, probably Derek, right? Jake S, Billy D, Petty A, Bird Dog, Lefty Max, Vito, Mick the Dagger, Stoko, Bernie Rebel, and then the very last one was Garret. So do you think these are people he killed or people that he just beat in a race? Because I got the impression, let me tell you, that these are people he killed, because in the very first scene when he's racing that guy, remember he flipped over and his car lost control, and that must have been Bernie Rebel. I'm assuming, because that was the second to the last name on his arm. So I wonder if he's racing them, quote unquote, to the death. Like, it makes me wonder that. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see that, but I don't think I fully agree, because, well, in the first thing, he didn't kill him, right? It was just an accident, and he was happy that he won the race. So I think he is just marking his body with it's like achievements. Like, oh, I got to race this person, I got to race that person. So Whether he like crosses their name out or does something after the race is beyond us. But I think he is just marking down who his competitors and rivals were at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he writes
So
Garrett's name on his arm before he even races him. I think that speaks to his ego. Like he thinks he's going to beat him because he's putting his name on his arm before he even races him. Right? So I do think that he's yeah. I also like at the towards the end of the scene, he takes a drag of his cigarette and he exhales his cigarette as the sound of an exhaust, a revving engine roars in the background. You see the smoke billowing from his mouth. That was a really good shot. And of course, he did his little flick of the tongue again, right, to kind of give that snake theme there. So the next scene, this must be at midnight because they're getting ready for the race. Joe shows up and Billy's already there. So Billy gets out with Carrie. Carrie's there. He hands Carrie over and then he goes to give the gun to Joe, but Joe says, no, give it to Carrie. So Carrie takes the gun and points it at Billy. So Carrie is basically like, you kidnapped me. You're messing with my dad. I don't think so. I'm going to shoot you. But the dad is like, no, I want you to basically start the race, right? You stand here, wait for us to flash our lights, shoot the gun into the air, and then we'll go. So I think Joe wants to take care of this. Joe wants to take care of Billy. He wants to put it into this because he doesn't have to race. Like his daughter had the gun. His daughter was willing to shoot him. His daughter was willing to take care of this whole mess, and it would have been rightfully so because she had just been kidnapped. Like all the ducks were in a row for this to be taken care of right now. But it was Joe who was like, no, let's do the race, and I want it to be legit. So wait for us to flash our lights and then shoot it in the air, and we'll go. What do you think?
I mean, it was intense, right? Like she wanted to kill Billy, so I mean, I didn't know what was gonna happen next, but I felt like the race had to happen. So it made sense that side of Joe was coming out like, no, this is a race. This is my battle. I'm gonna win it for us. Because it would have been bad, right? If his daughter did pull the trigger, then that's a whole nother thing he has to deal with. But it was cool. You get to see his demeanor like changing to Racer Joe instead of Cop Joe. So it was cool to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was watching it the first time, I got the sense that he wanted to race. He wanted that part of it. He wanted to defeat Billy. But then as you were talking, I was just thinking, I wonder how much of it was maybe he also wanted to protect his daughter. He doesn't want his daughter to have to shoot somebody and have to live with that guilt or whatever, because that's what he lives with. He lives with the guilt of having killed somebody. So he doesn't want his daughter to also have that guilt. So I want, now that you talk for a little bit, I thought, and then I realized maybe that could have been some of it too. So they get ready to race. And this is where Billy puts that skull back up on the dashboard. They're revving their engines. They give each other one last look. They flash their brights. She shoots the gun. Off they go. And they're speeding down the road to that wonderful soundtrack that you had mentioned earlier. And
yeah, I think it's part of his ritual.
Yeah, he just blasts that song. Yeah. So they're racing down the road, and towards the end of the race, Joe slams on his brakes and swerves out of the way. And when Billy looks back up, he just crashes into a bulldozer. Do you think Joe parked that bulldozer there, or do you think he just knew it was already there?
I think he's an actual racer, and he was paying attention to surroundings. And Billy was just kind of seeing if he's winning or not. And he's starstruck. He wants to see how his favorite racer competes. So I think he just was distracted.
I think you're absolutely right. In my mind, I was thinking, because in my mind, let me take you down the rabbit hole that is my brain. Okay. I was thinking, well, it was Billy who picked the spot. So it wasn't Joe. So Joe had to go scout the spot and then maybe figure out where the race was going to be, or drive the tractor in the right spot, or like I was thinking all of this, but no, what you said makes so much more sense. He was aware of his surroundings, and that's why he's the king of the road. Yeah. Billy, on the other hand, is an amateur, and he's just so starstruck that he can't take his eyes off of the love of his life that he just crashed into a bulldozer. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Just before Billy dies, he takes his lighter, lights it, throws it out the window. It catches the gas on fire. And then next thing you know, explosion. So this is like an action episode. this very little horror. There is some tension. It's definitely a tense episode at times, but this is an action episode. This is a turn your brain off and just watch for the action kind of an episode. It made me think a little bit like Fast and the Furious. Obviously, it just made me think very, very cheesy 80s action. Like, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of like car movies and car shows, it has to be with the car, right? Like people are there because there's certain models or certain vintage, vehicles that they want to look at. So it was more showcasing that than like big character developments, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was simple. I had no issues realistically following the story. It is a turn your brain off, but I do like that he's in love with the title of King of the Road, so he also has that towards Iceman, and it was kind of I had a little issue with the ending because he's there like bleeding because he hit his head on the dashboard, and he just tells you like, "Looks like you won," and then sparks later, not. It's so dumb. Like I don't know. Like I don't know why he even gave him like a moment to notice that. He could just did the lighter and then have the car explode. It'd been
Right.
like, a
right.
second
Well,
too late.
every supervillain in those action movies they need their final line, right? They need something.
Yeah, they need a last line.
So that brings us back to
Actually,
oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Carrie running to the quarter mile of the strip. I was kind of impressed that she ran that after they just drove like 180 miles or whatever. So
yeah, they were going pretty fast. They were
Yeah.
flooring it for quite some time, and then he crashes, and the next thing you know, Carrie's like running, catching up.
Yeah. It's so funny.
So that brings us back to the Crypt Keeper, who says, well, that certainly gives new meaning to the term burn rubber. As for me, I've got to get back to work. Oh, by the way, I think he's reading Shakespeare at this point. I think he's reading Shakespeare, which is kind of strange given that this, I don't know. It's a leap to put these two together. He says the group has decided to do something classical. We're trying to choose between A Midsummer Night's Scream and Julius Caesar. Care to watch from Hackstage? So yeah, it's a bit of a leap going the whole play route, especially with Shakespeare. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to think if this is like a similar story to like a Shakespeare story, like where there's two men who one man knows the other man's past and then threatens them. I don't know. It's not Hamlet. So as far as like similar plots, like with the street racing, definitely it's Fast and Furious vibes. Now I don't know about you, Godden, but I actually haven't watched the Fast and Furious movies. Have you?
Just the first three, honestly, because it gets really out there and they kind of go on their own separate route where they become pretty much superheroes because they just get like I don't know. It used to be good in my eyes, but yeah, the first three for sure. I've watched the first three.
I'm not a big fan. I'm also not a Vin Diesel fan, so there was an interesting parallel that I got vibes of when I was watching this movie. The whole idea of a rebel, right? A rebel taking a police chief's daughter and taking her for a drive around, in a muscle car. I'm telling you, I got Friday the 13th Part 6. Jason Lives vibes. Tommy Jarvis is like the outlaw in town, right? And he takes the police chief's daughter, Megan Garris, out driving, and they kind of, I just got vibes from that. And it also struck me that Megan Garris was her last name, and in this one, Garret is the last name. So I felt like there was it almost felt like intentional overlap of these characters and the situation. So it definitely, I got vibes from that. And then there's the idea of like somebody from your past coming back to haunt you. I don't know if I don't get the sense that that these men knew each other in the past, Billy and Iceman. I just get the sense that Billy knew of Iceman and found out that it was actually this Joe character. So he kind of came back to to blackmail him. But while the episode's going, you get this sense that somebody or someone who knows his past, right, comes back to haunt him. And I didn't know if they were going supernatural with it at first. So I got to tell you, when I first started watching this, I got vibes from Sometimes They Come Back, which is a Stephen King movie about a teacher, of all people, who his old bullies when he was a kid become his students. Like the ghosts, like the spirits of them actually come back and they're his students. So I don't like, I just got that vibe for some reason. So I definitely felt that. I felt those couple movies while I was watching this one.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think other movies that I think of with the same trope as people from your past return to haunt you. Kill Bill is a big one, realistically. Like it doesn't have to be necessarily someone that they had encountered with, but the idea that it's from their past lives coming in back to haunt them. Because yeah, Joe left that life, but it's crazy that it comes back to bother him still.
Yeah, but, Kill Bill's a great one because I feel like Kill Bill does that twice because Beatrix Kiddo leaves the life of being that assassin, right? She leaves, but then the assassins come back at her wedding day and basically slaughter everybody there, including her. And then Bill moves on and all the assassins move on, and then she comes back to get them. So it's like a double whammy. It's like a double-decker sandwich of people from your past coming back to haunt you.
Oh, I guess John Wick, but that's like the same thing as Kill Bill. I was trying to look for other movies that are not too similar.
Oh yeah, Kill Bill's kind of, John Wick's kind of similar. Yeah. There you have it. If you could think of more, leave them in the comments, everybody. As far as for ratings, I like this story a lot. I do. I like it a lot. It's a good one. It's a fun one. It does not fit with Tales from the Crypt. It doesn't have, first of all, it doesn't have the gore, right? Or the horror. It doesn't have any of that. Mm-hmm. But it also doesn't have the main character being flawed, also getting their comeuppance because he wins at the end. I wonder if the police had found out what he did anyway, or if the police showed up and they'd be like, oh my God, look, he died just like that one guy died 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, it's you. You're I don't know, like if something had happened to actually really hammer home the fact that he kind of also gets caught for what he was trying to avoid getting caught for. I feel like that would have made it feel more like a Tales from the Crypt episode. So good episode. I enjoyed it. Didn't really fit with the Tales from the Crypt vibe. So I'm going to give this a 4. I do like this a 4. I don't think I can go much higher than a 4 because of the fact that it just doesn't fit, but it's still good. So I'll give this 4 tarantulas in a mailbox.
4 tarantulas. Oh, that's a good one, actually. I also like this episode a lot. Honestly, it's like what you mentioned earlier. It's very simple to keep up with. It's turn your brain off. You feel like action. This is definitely a fun one to watch. And you know, if you didn't know about Two-Fisted Tales and you see this randomly, you'd think, "Hey, is this the wrong DVD?" Or did someone write over a Tales of the episode, a Tales from the Crypt episode with a random episode? But I think of the 3, because I think there's only 3 of them, I think that this is a strong second. Yeah, I agree with you, Kenny. It definitely deserves a 4, but I'll give this 4 flick of the tongues.
4 flick of the tongues. 4 ads.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it. A 4 and a 4 for an average of 4. All right. So at this point, let's get ourselves to Horrorspondence. Now, our most recent episode that just came out was the new arrival. Now, like I said, we do have a lot of comments from What's Cooking, so I want to give some love to that episode as well. But new arrival first, we hear from Joseph Hill. Joseph Hill comes to us and says, this is a great episode. It was cast very well. David Warner was the perfect choice for Dr. Getz. Remember him? Ignore it. He says, fun fact about David Warner, he was very close to getting the role for Freddy Krueger in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. There's even some concept art of what he would have looked like in the Freddy makeup. Now that's fascinating. Can you imagine how different, literally, how different the world would be if David Warner got that instead of Freddy Krueger? Freddy Krueger is such an iconic character, an iconic horror slasher that transcends horror. It transcends America. It transcends Hollywood. Like, people all over the world know who Freddy Krueger is. Could pick him out of a lineup and can probably pick out his voice. So if it had gone to David Warner instead, it would be an incredibly different world, like literally. Joseph Hill goes on to give the episode 4.5 wads of gum. I like that, wads of gum. And like I said, most of our comments are still coming from What's Cooking. It's one of our highest commented episodes. I'm telling you, there's a lot of love out there for Iron Sabbath. So Ash Bunnykins comes through and says, one of my favorite episodes of Tales from the Crypt, definitely upper tier. This is, again, regarding What's Cooking. The cast was so good in this episode. Everyone played their parts to perfection, and the comedy just landed. I agree with the panel. 5 out of 5 neon enema signs. Remember the enema?
I do, yes.
Joseph Hill also comments regarding What's Cooking, and this is listen to these puns. This is a 5 out of 5 comment right here. Listen to these puns. Sounds like you raised the stakes by adding a guest host. Iron Sabbath was in rare form with the meatloaf puns. I'd say his overall performance was well done. Like the three of you, I give this 5 rare alloy blades out of 5. Great comment. Thank you, Joseph Hill. The Jamirian comes through again about What's Cooking. Says, I love this episode. The acting, the writing, the gore, the irony at the end, all superb. The steak scenes always make me hungry. Yeah, because remember, whenever the steaks are on the grill, you always like see them, right, front and center. He gives the episode 5 cleavers. All right. So, Horrorspondence has been coming through like a torrent, you guys. I absolutely love it. Keep them coming. It's just, there's a lot of comments to get through, a lot of comments to read, and then to respond to. If I don't respond to your comments right away, sometimes it takes me several days to get through the comments. Not because it takes me several days to read them, but I have to organize them for the podcast. So if I respond to them too quickly, then they disappear off my feed. So oftentimes when I'm putting the script together for a current episode, I'll have to wait to respond to a comment. So after I copy paste the comment into my notes, at that point, it gives me permission to respond to the comment. So if it takes me even sometimes 4 or 5 days to respond to a comment, it's possible. So I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm not putting you all on the back burners. Believe me, your comments mean a lot to me. I love reading the comments. I love sharing them with Godden. I'll text Godden all hours of the night. Godden, did you see this comment? Someone said such and such. So it definitely,
and he does do that.
It means a lot to both of us. The just the outpouring of comments and support that we're getting from you all. So thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. This means so much that this, in my eyes, this stupid hobby that we have, getting together once a week to talk about a show, it just has an outpouring of so many people who are supporting what we're doing. And if that's you, if you feel like you're getting anything from this episode, that means so much for me. If we can provide any sort of entertainment or any sort of a unique perspective about the show that you never considered, that means a lot to us too. So let us know in the comments. Let us know how you feel. Share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Let's grow this community even bigger. I'm so excited for this at this point. This is so exciting. Okay, here's the thing. I need to know. Godden, I'm on the edge of my seat. I need to know. This is important to me.
Okay.
Tales from the Crypt is coming to Shudder next week. Let us know in the comments if you either already have or are willing to get Shudder, at least for a month, to check it out, because I'm on the fence. So just let us know in the comments. Would you be willing to get Shudder, even if just for a month, to check out Tales from the Crypt? Is this something worthwhile to you? With all that out of the way, let's get ourselves to shout outs to other horror communities out there. Y'all, Creeps of the Crypt, I have been in really close conversation with those guys. Those guys are great. John and Alan there at Creeps of the Crypt are basically the same format as this. They started well before we started. So really, you could say that they inspired us to get this podcast going. They definitely served as an inspiration while I was doing the show, because I would watch episodes of theirs and I'd be like, oh, that's cool how they did that, or I like how they said this or whatever. So I'm definitely taking some great things that I see from other podcasts and kind of adopting it into this podcast. So Creeps of the Crypt, John and Alan, you guys are a couple of great guys out there who are also really enjoying this Tales from the Crypt show and journey. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for being an inspiration to us. And I look forward to keeping our conversations going and hopefully doing some, maybe some collabs in the future. So we'll see where that goes. Haddonfield Radio. Oh my gosh. It's been a long time since I really spent a long time talking about Haddonfield Radio. Those guys are a couple of amazing storytellers, and just the way that they handle the conversation on their podcast, I really admire that about them. The way that they're able to structure their show. They do. I'm telling you, these podcasts that these guys do are 3-4 hours long, and I'll listen to the whole thing and I enjoy the whole thing. So they'll talk for a good hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours before the movie starts. And they just give, interesting tidbits about the directors and the actors and everybody involved, and a history and the lore and the legacy of all the characters. And then they'll start the movie, and then they'll just go scene by scene talking about the breakdown here and what happened there. And they're also offering a lot of their thoughts and opinions, which I find to be so fascinating. By the time the movie ends, I'm like, damn it, where's the next episode? So yeah, Haddonfield Radio. If you haven't got a chance yet, go check them out. They're great. Return, Revenge, Resurrection, a couple of a few friends who get together and they just talk about horror movies. Midnight Rental was another one that was suggested to us. They have a Tales from the Crypt retrospective that you can go check out from them. All of these things, by the way, are in the description down below, so you can go check those out and click on any ones that you find interesting. But don't forget about us. We here at the Cryptique Podcast, you can find more of us. My name's Kenny. I can be found at 2 Bad About Kenny. That's with the number 2 Bad About Kenny, as well as TOO Bad About Kenny. I review books and movies on YouTube. I also do video game streaming on Twitch. Godden, how about you?
Well, they can find me gaming on Twitch at UAPP06. And they can reach out to us on our Twitter for more updates, or I'm not sure what else we can put on, but yeah, usually updates are to just talk to us, right? Any ways to get in touch with us if they want to talk about Tales from the Crypt, or just want to see what we do outside of Tales from the Crypt. So that's one way to keep in touch.
That's right. Yeah, we actually have lives outside of our hobbies. So if you're interested in anything that we're doing or what we're up to, or thoughts on other shows or thoughts on movies or whatnot, tune into our live streams. Yeah, come through on my Twitch live stream or Godden's Twitch live stream. I also stream on YouTube. Come through, hit us up, chat with us. We'd love to talk to you about more than just Tales from the Crypt, or just Tales from the Crypt. I don't care. Come through. If you want to keep up with what we're watching here, next week we'll be here, same time, same place, to talk about Season 4, Episode 10, Maniac at Large. Until then, Cryptique fans, we here at the Cryptique Podcast wish you all sweet nightmares.
Well, how was that for a scream, boys and ghouls?